What is up, guys? It is Echoing Howls here, and today we are going to be playing the Beginner's Guide. Um, so I know that this is the sequel question mark from Stanley's Parable. I know that it's the same creator. That's about all I know about it. I've seen the first like half hour of this game. Um, but after that, I'm flying blind. Um, so we're gonna try this. I'll probably play Stanley Parable at some point. Um, but yeah, this is what we are going to do today. So here we go. Make sure the audio is on. I assure you it is. I can hear all the birds and the fire and whatnot. Alright, so it was the typical controls.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide.
Of course.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
Cool.
But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I
Oh,
want
you
to
can
get to
crouch.
know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he
Oh, you
just
could jump
stopped.
too.
In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's
Oh,
about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
cool. Alright, we got some white space.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Ship destruction imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
We got no sound effects when I shoot. I know we do. It's just really quiet.
Infuriating hull breached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
It's open?
For instance,
No.
you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Nice.
But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Where do I go from here?
Enemy
Oh.
force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom
Oh.
of the universe from this road.
Yup. That's pretty though. Wait,
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it.
of course it does. Why wouldn't it?
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh, but I'm sure I could get there. My mouse sensitivity is really high. It's fine.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
I see.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If you...
Ooh,
your
you
body
can
will
jump.
stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives...
Can't crouch though. Oh wait, yes I
could you
can.
do it? Could you give yourself...
I'm sure I know what I have to do here. Oh well.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
What happens instead? You can still crouch. Interesting.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies
How do you get
something
through the
human
maze?
about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this
Oh, okay, I found
larger
it.
chaotic system.
You just go all the way to
Or
the
this
left.
floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse.
You
I
can
don't
see
even
the
know.
corners of the
I have
room.
no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
2008. Again.
Yep,
House is behind
in
her.
this game you can only walk backwards.
Can you fall off the edge? No. Dang. Okay. The past was behind her, but
So
the
it's
future
a
could not
short
be
and
seen.
relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Why does the future keep changing? When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. Okay. Oh, wait, what did that say? But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that.
Sure.
Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
I like that. This one, I can move forward. Oh, there's a wall there. Okay, guess I'm not going that way. Guess we're going this way. We're now entering
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay. Nonsense in
Oftentimes,
nearly
Coda
every
would put
direction.
bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
I like the titles.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
We're slowing down? What if I crouch? No.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
What if I don't? What if I just stand here and walk the whole time? I'm playing it how it was meant to be played, you know? This is what the creator intended. Alright, I'm hitting enter. Oh, you can't go back. Okay. A button you press to stop the chaos that doesn't work. As
A
plays...
room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Plays the camera filming an advertisement, walk around on set, filming whatever
Coda
you
would
like.
often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Game filled with chairs except one is floating. Live on a boat taking orders from the captain. The captain is always wrong. Must address and rally a group of eager press reporters. Oh. I didn't get to read all of them. Ready, set, fish. I think this is as far as I've seen. No, I think I've seen this. Okay. Let's see. Ready, set, fish.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
I can't jump high enough to go back. Can still crouch though. Aha! And I pull... Do I pull this?
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon.
Okay.
We're gonna see it a lot.
Okay. Interesting. Let's head through this door.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. Oh. Holy shoot, dude.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player.
True.
So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
It's not to understand, then what is it? We're now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Interesting. Great and lovely descent. Okay. Off
Let's
we
talk
go.
about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The Streetwise Fool.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
I haven't seen this part, by the way. This is completely
The
new
tools
to me.
available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Ooh. No! No! Ooh, I had some velocity there. At least I didn't die. I don't know why I thought I would. Can't go in there, though. What opened? This? This looks like a cattle pen. Oh, it did open. Why does it keep opening and closing? Okay. Odd. Oh. Wait. Okay, this opened. I don't... Oh. Okay. But what if I... Oh, I can't. I'm in a box. Okay.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Thanks. That'd be nice.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else.
Interesting.
Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
The joke was on you, sir. You actually played them all. Although, to be fair, I probably would have done the same. Okay. Where does this go, then?
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
No, wait. Got it. And then you pull this.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise
it's so simple.
to share with you my interpretation very shortly.
I think it's because it's so simple. You know, you just get in. you do whatever you can to stay in and hope that there's a solution on the other side. At least that's what makes sense to me. You there, did you come from up above? What was up there?
Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Interesting. Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there's an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there were these floating colored blocks. Oh. Because those are all correct. But those will determine what they think of. Well, if I didn't know what was up above of these 3, I think the floating colored blocks would sound the most interesting. But the prison was what we just came from. So if they went up right now, that would be the first thing they see, and they wouldn't probably, they wouldn't see the other 2 unless they would think I'm lying to them, right? But also if I tell them that I came from a prison, then what if they're terrified of it? Would number 1 be correct? Because then there's this whole empty space where you can fill with creativity, right? I'm gonna go with 2 because that was the last thing I just came out of. There's an enormous prison I spent hours in. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzle. I prefer not to tell you after all we only just met. Well, I did go through it. Again, perfect. Now, please tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. So I can't tell them. Okay, I forgot. I don't remember. Must think harder, please. Please try to remember. It's so important that we escape out of here. We must escape this prison. Can you think harder? There must be something more. Please tell us how to reach the end. This? This? Ah. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, do you know how to solve it? No, I've been right here this entire time. Neither of those are correct, so I've been here this entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. The black space? What happens if I solve it? Not sure, but if I have any suspicion, what you find won't be worth it takes to get there. I missed the second line. I just know I have to sit in the black space.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Okay. Don't you have to sit in the black space? Oh. Crickets. Aha! I found the crickets. Is that what I'm supposed to hear? What I'm supposed to find? Crickets?
It's a lamppost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
Interesting.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination. which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're gonna see it in the work as well. His games are just gonna become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this. It's just cool that he's using the games to like go through Coda's mindset. Because I know with my old stuff, like you can totally see where I was coming from. It's just true. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. I'm going to doubt that this is actually connected to the internet. Nice room. Not. That's rude. Can I leave a note? No. I was like, I can't jump. Yes, I can. He left these notes,
So
didn't
first
he?
off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda.
Yeah.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy trying to get his attention. I was over enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
Whoa, holy shit, and can you guys hear me? The other one was like, there's no point to this game. Hello. Reasonable.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is gonna happen if you read all of them.
I want to read all of them.
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Define fun. Balls. Nice.
But
How
it's
is there
ironic,
wood and
isn't
grass
it,
here and
that
concrete
in
here? What the
playing this
fuck?
game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head
I'm crying
and get
over
to know
ripping
them
my
better
eyes
and
out.
have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
There are too many messages in this area. Why? Hey, I can type here. The guy over there wrote much wrong. I'd rather be doing literally anything other than playing this. My favorite message so far has been the one about the flying penguin and how they're wanting to rip their eyes out. That's beautiful. Can't jump over that. How do I get there then? Do I get down here? Where do I go? I want to read them all. I can't. I literally can't. Do I have to go this way? Oh, I'm just stupid. What the shit is this cavern? Boring. I can assure you guaranteed that there's an acorn somewhere here in this place and the sailors are looking for it. I wish there was a sprint button. Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. I refuse to believe. Butt ass butt. I need to go to the frickin' bathroom. Recognize me, please. There's nothing here, go back. Don't listen to that guy. A free t-shirt! Need other side, door why you so. Door how open. Open says me. Makes game, includes door, cannot open door, thanks. Someday I'll meet the person who made this. I help people because of the interal good feeling I get. Whoa. New room. New room, Pog. Do you hear the chimes? They keep you going, don't they? I would like very much to be desired. It's not very crowded here. Scared of writing something, don't want to feel judged. A game where you leave notes and suddenly everyone's a poet. Don't bother. You can go in here, I think. Welcome, congratulations. I don't really know where to go with this. This is where I get off. I failed to write anything here. I am compelled. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Take my hand, let's jump together. Tried. Cabbage shapes our nation, indeed. What is that painting? It does not matter if you ever get over there. Hey, don't talk about me that way. Very good game. I think this is not going anywhere. Next time I will do better. I need someone to talk to. Is this a note? Don't listen to the other notes. Why should I listen to you then? I'm not safe. Today I learned you cannot fall off. Ethical. I saw a person walking down there, now it won't come back. Devil Tower Star. Well done, all of you. Painting, what does it mean? Stop faking it. Art. Hey guys, how's it just hanging? Help, I am trying to speak. I think it's about how things look messy from up close and perfect from far away. From up here, it just looks like dots. Cabbage shapes our nation. Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Stop pretending you are other people. We will all die someday. Who are all of you? Whoever made this has issues. Devil Tower Star. He was himself the most horrible creature you could imagine. Maybe I'll feel real someday. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it, though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game. Is the lamppost here? No. More room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
I hate the whispering. Oh, the whispering is awful. I wish there were notes in the real world. That'd be nice. Become one with the spiraling nonsense? Don't worry, I am. Downward, keep digging.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Does this puzzle have a solution? OMG, I've been here for literally an hour. What do I do? Help. Help. This doesn't make sense. The second door won't open. Shit, how do you solve it? Developer, answers, please.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just
Guys,
for a
it's so
moment,
bad in here.
a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
How do you leave notes? Are you there? Please say something. If you need anything, I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty speaking? Talking. Sorry. Speak. I got goosebumps. Porn stars die
Okay,
too.
this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Will do. With a title like that, how can I refuse? Ooh, this is nice. I like this design. Fun and bubbly. Literally. Crouch. Jump. Ah, I see. Oh, I thought it was repeating. It is not. I recognize this ground. Aha.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else.
Okay.
Cool. Here's version 2.
Version 2. But there's nothing. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? How about a TV with surround sound, a refrigerator, or put a giant hole in the ground? What if I tell him to put a hole? Oh. What about along the wall of the room? Put a huge picture of a horse. I'd like a washing machine. 10 stoves lined up along the wall. Let's do a horse. Thanks. I'm glad you're listening to me. Think we should light up this room a bit. A skylight, full ceiling window. Let's open this baby up. I'm thinking a 10 by 12 recessed electric 6-inch soft LED ceiling, lights with fluorescent trim. We'll put live Tesla coils in each corner. Yeah. And a table. You need a table. We have a table. Who are you? Where exactly are you doing this from? I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making a difference. Tables were invented in 1935. Pretty sure they're not making any difference. Oh.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
I see.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Okay. Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click it to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Go to the left side sofa, move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. This? That's it. In a real prison, escape will now open. Return to the start and to be taken back to your prison. What if I don't want to? I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway, but... Okay, now I have to remember that, I bet.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
Oh.
Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen more.
Interesting.
Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point
It's
do you
the
just
door.
go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on.
The well.
But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
The lamppost? Okay. I keep going to crouch, by the way, because it's the sprint button in Minecraft, and I keep trying to sprint. A telephone booth. I can't move. Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too? I was in the furniture maze and escaped.
It's a conversation.
Was in
And
the
so
reverse
this
prison.
is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who
That's where I am
knows.
right now. I'm so glad to
But the
know that I
irony is
can
that
get
even
out
in this
eventually. What's it
scenario,
like to
you're
escape?
still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Actually, I'm already forgetting what being in the prison was like. It's strange, but in a way, I kind of miss being in the prison. It feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. Yeah. Do you feel any different? Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. No, I'm really the same person now as I was back then. It actually does change. I don't feel like the same person at all. Never have, never will. Oh, good. That's so nice to hear. That makes me feel really happy. Age just kind of does that, you know? I'm still me, but I'm not somehow. It's hard to describe. Remember to enjoy being who you are right now. It won't last. Nope, still me, but different. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. What? That will free me? How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Just talk to me, it will make sense. I can't tell you until you're out, but I promise it works. Okay, I can talk. Let's just talk for a bit. Will you be here? I'll be here for as long as you need.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
So very nice. My entire body is covered in goosebumps. Like, if I had someone, if I could talk to my past self,
So
dude.
what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
If I could talk to my old self, man, I don't know what I would tell him.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
I want to go in. It's one of the people. I want to go in. Say hi to him. Hello? Can you see me? Is this open? Dang. Clean. Okay. Let's head back up to the door then.
Just so you're aware, nothing will happen up here until you've been inside the house.
I tried to go inside the house. It wouldn't let me. I literally tried. Can I go in now? Oh, I can go in now. It closes behind me. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Tonight, I thought I might be having to clean this entire house up by myself. And right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes. Don't
You'll
worry
notice
about
that the
me.
quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Oh. Don't worry about me. A place that's this nice, I'll be glad to stay here all night. And lousy homes make home loners. Are we cleaning this whole place? A place this nice, I'll be glad to stay all night. Well, now, you just might be getting a little ahead of yourself there, no? Why don't we start cleaning and then you decide whether you could do it all night? I'll finish up here. In the meantime, could you please clear the table? Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? This looks actually gorgeous. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed any other way, it seems. Which I guess is all about all that matters. Oh, and a tidy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa there? I'm sorry, I'm struggling to read. I'm really trying. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as you're over there? Is it on the couch? I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. I didn't even read the other ones. No. No, it was stupid. Sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the floor of the shelf? Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the
After
table?
the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
House cleaning's so difficult, how do you do it? Darling, let me tell you something. Your house is only as difficult to clean as you are. If you're finding the work hard, maybe you have a bit of housekeeping to do before you come to work. Ha, and here I go with another lecture. Of course I would. Don't worry about all that nonsense. Just smooth out the
I know that
rug
Coda really
in the
liked this
bedroom.
game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it.
Looks like the tub has gotten
This
rather
was
dirty.
during a
Would you mind
period of a
tidying it
few
up?
months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Earlier, when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Heh. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. But there's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Can I do it through the wall? No. What next? Oh goodness, those pillows on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Straighten them up a bit. Can't have these folks coming home to a messy couch. Question. Do you enjoy this?
Of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
But I liked that. I would play that for hours. I want the comfy music again. I just like the music. Music made me happy. the lamppost.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Items you love at
This
members
one
only
gets a bit
prices.
goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to be perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that in your way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. I don't like this. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being perfect is
shifts.
effortless. Oh.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort on the way to work? I told another person, sir. These are awful. I still love you. It's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. I tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. That's not what I meant to say. Thank goodness for all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solution, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. So you won't be happy. Ew. Just the yellow ones are the safe ones. Haha, just kidding. Anyone want to do ecstasy after this? There is no truth, there is no path. What if I'm not a good teacher? Holy shit, you guys. Something is coming out of the back of the room. Look out. What if I say that? Nothing. No one. It's coming for you. It's going to destroy you. Everyone run. Run.
I felt pretty hard for this one.
Perfection.
I feel like it's one of the most
perfection.
relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
I liked that one. That was funny.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Oh, this is my worst nightmare. Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We're at a gathering of professionals. First, they're starting out leaning against this wall. Good, stay right there. Okay. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello, sorry I have to leave. Where's the bathroom? Hello? Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I'm super, super scared right now. I like you. Here are my hopes and dreams. I'm gonna be honest, I'm super, super scared right now. This is like giving me stage fright. No, 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 that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feeling of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'd give you some props to work with these cones that bounce when you touch them will represent people nearby. Please. No, I hate this. Now talk to her again. This is the worst. I hate this. Please. You must have worked really hard to get where you are, but you've learned a lot. To lean into the pain. You must have worked really hard. You're messing it all up again? Frick. Yeah, the personal, he gets that personal so that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay. I'm not on the stage. I'm not on the stage. Lamppost. The lamppost literally makes me feel safe. Okay. I'm not on the, not on, I can't go back any further. Oh wait, yes I can. Okay. Okay. Yes, now this is working.
The
This is
game
what I
ends
was
with this
like.
eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
That stage and the talking and the cones legitimately made me anxious. Mobius trip to play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to play to begin the game. Okay. I don't have a face cam, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it, I guess, that I have my eyes closed, but here we go. What am I supposed to do? I literally can't see anything. Okay, I'm just gonna pick this direction, because I think this is the direction I was facing, and walk forward. I don't know if this is doing anything. Stopped. Did I die? What if I go backwards?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Oh, okay. I'm blind. Can you do something to fix this? No, I have no idea where we are. Am I gonna be killed by a giant door? Yes, it's gonna kill us. I'm gonna try again. So what's going on? Okay, they're all blind. Okay. What's going on? I can't die like this. I can't die like this. Why did I go blind? I can't see. I don't know yet. I'm trying to fix the shield. Please, someone talk to me. No, I have no idea where we are. Try to find my supplies. Okay, okay. Okay. Just speak something that's honest. I'm bursting with creative energy. No, that isn't truthful. So I've died. Okay, something truthful. I can't keep making these. That's it, that's the truth.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
I'm alone, we're going to be okay. Those 2 lines, man.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Dude, he cranks these out so fast, though. Like, I've never tried making a game, but it would probably take me years. Hello? Where did this island come from? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I am a tad. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. I'm completely out of ideas. I feel this. When I try to create, I feel empty. I vibe with that. Oh no. What happened? Did something change? I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped. I can take you to it, but there's a problem.
The last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations. This one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
I can take you to it, but there's a problem. It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. Deal? Deal. Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Hey, I recognize this. I've solved this puzzle before. This is easy. I've solved this puzzle before. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you have to open the door. Now you have to close the door. Now just press the switch here. Ha! That was so simple.
You
Can't believe I never
talk
solved it before
yourself
this.
out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
These are the exact things I said. Okay, here we are. These are just words on some walls. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. Simple. But it wasn't true. Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. When I make games, I feel completely energized. Yes, that's wonderful. Keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Every time I make something, I feel better about myself. Just never stop creating and never feel bad. It's such a simple solution. To make something feel better about myself. Perfect.
This is someone I really cared about.
That
and I
feels
used to get
fantastic.
so much joy out of seeing him create.
None of this is
For him to
helping.
suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifices made for my work are worth it 100% of the time. It always pays off eventually. It always pays off eventually. Yes, more.
I don't
Keep
know.
going.
This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
There's no shame, no fear, no guilt. Incredible. That's it. I'm free.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
I am just processing the machine. God. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you'd like. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda.
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped. You stopped feeding us. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? It's because of your creations that we made it through every day. So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No, nothing? Alright then, I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. My friends. It falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show that we are not failures. Not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created. Fuck. I hate this. This literally makes my whole body tense up. What? This is the gun from the first game. I don't... Kodo, I'll make sure your work dies here, Kodo. I'll make sure you are known forever. Isn't that what you're scared of? Exposed to the view of others every day forever, seen in naked clarity?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his game.
That's not how that works.
It might get him out of isolation.
That's not how that works at all.
And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it.
No, that's not.
Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it?
That is
If
terrifying.
he could see the difference it would make, to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral?
No, that'd make
Would
it
give him
so much
confidence in
worse.
himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Not the... I like this room. And I know he did too. He, she, they, Coda, I don't know.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon. I can't move.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend.
Can't
I
jump.
did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem.
No.
When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
The tower.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it.
Interesting.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
I would do that normally, but I also don't want to cause anybody any epilepsy seizures, so we will not be doing that.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end.
But I liked cleaning it forever.
That game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
The slow walk up. Okay, the slow walk. Okay. All the games Coda made are playable. Sure, the cleaning one loops forever, but it's still looping, which means you can play it. It's playable. You don't need to have an ending for it to be considered quote unquote playable. The tower where he gives you the ability to walk faster at the end, you could just sit there pressing W so you walk forward for however long it takes to get you there. That is playable. The maze that was in the shooting game, playable. Everything he has given us to continue through the game and quote-unquote make it playable was unneeded. You could play it without his help. Like, these are actual games. Be it whether they're finished or not in Coda's eyes. They're playable. I had to say that because I wasn't sure what this was. So, yeah.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Again, this is playable. You just sit here forever. Well, not forever, but you sit here for a while. And like this guy did, it's playable. He freaking played it. I don't like him calling this unplayable, because it clearly is. He has played it.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, There's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Which really is on the
Was
other
I
side.
a failure for not understanding this game?
No.
I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow.
It's not like everything has to have a solution. Really?
I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
I know what he's talking about. I know what he's talking about. That was in like the first puzzle room door. There were 3 dots on the wall. Not everything has to have a meaning.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
Not everything has to have a meaning. Not everything holds a purpose. Especially when...
Where did I screw up?
Especially when it comes to things that you create. Like, things that are created. You could draw a dot on a piece of paper because you felt like it. And there's no purpose behind it.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
You going behind Coda's back, showing him things that he never even pushed out into the real world, things he had created with the intention of probably never showing anyone except for you or a couple of his close friends. You going behind his back and showing these things to, in his eyes, strangers. I totally get that. That's terrifying, and it can totally ruin the experience. So maybe you did mess up. If I were Coda...
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
You've so infected my personal
And
space.
the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we'll go back here. So, you've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between the games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. That one boundary is so important, especially to people like Coda. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them. The lamppost, a goal, an ending. He doesn't want there to be a purpose. Would
And
you
then you
simply
stopped.
let them be
And
what
I
they
didn't
are?
have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing.
When I
What
am
does that
around you, I
mean?
feel physically ill. Good grief. When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with the new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks, and that you make peace with this
I'm
thing that
afraid
you're
that I did
wrestling.
something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Epilogue. You can't search for yourself in things other people create.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
You're finding yourself in subtle lines that had a chance of never even being drawn. And that's dangerous. That's what Davy has experienced.
Solution.
He's trapped himself between the fixed
I guess
boxes
if
of
someone had
Coda.
told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Probably does. what Davy is doing is
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna pause it in case he starts talking again. What Davy has done is like the boxes, like the source, I can't remember what it's called, the thing that Coda used to make his games in. Like those restrictions, Davy has put himself in the restrictions of Coda's work. And he's not letting himself go. He's not letting himself leave the boundaries of this box that he's so safe in. He always wants to find the lamppost. He loves the lamppost so much, but I mean, how many times can you how do I word this? Confining yourself within the works of others is just preventing yourself from succeeding, from growing. Like putting a goldfish in a bowl that's too small for it. It'll just keep growing from the inside until it dies. You can't do this. You have to find, like, sure, yes, oh my goodness, yes, you can find a purpose in someone else's work. That doesn't mean it was their intended purpose. That doesn't mean there was ever meant to be a purpose. You finding the purpose in their work and using it as a stepping stone where you can go and begin your own life, your own creativity, your own existence is what it needs to be. You can't just use it as your existence. You need to use it as the stepping stone it is instead of the boulder where you make your house. Hope that makes sense. Is this sand? Dust? Is that the painting that's on every wall? So it turns out I did have enough time to speak before he would speak again, but I wasn't sure.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Extroverts. Can't you just draw a line on a piece of paper and tell yourself that that's all it is? Can't you just
What now?
put yourself in a box and that's all it is? I know that's probably not how Davy's brain works, considering he make stuff
I think
like
I need to go.
the Stanley Parable, but
And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
okay. 'Cause I think you're thinking correctly. I think you're correct in that you do have something you need to do. If you can, tell Cody that you are sorry. I know making this game, this thing that you've slapped your name upon, is your way of telling him sorry. And I don't know what your next step will be, but I hope that you don't poison it for him more than you already have. Because it's difficult to not think that every drink you own after you get the first one isn't poisoned. Does that make sense? It's like if you ate chocolate bars for your whole life and the chocolate was always so good, it was always so nice, and then one day it was a little bit bitter, next day is a little bit more, till eventually the chocolate bar is literally just a cacao bean. So bitter and disgusting, and now you never want to go back to the chocolate. Sorry. You never want to go back to the chocolate bar because it, in your mind, tastes bitter. It's not the sweet chocolate that you used to love or whatever. It's bitter and it's the cacao bean. And it's hard to train your mind, regain that trust, and that it will ever be the sweet chocolate again. I hope that made sense. It's hard for me to put my thoughts into words, but hopefully I made a half decent job of doing so. Do we die or are we gonna fly? Because I have a feeling. Oh. I genuinely thought we were going to die there. It was just going to end like that. Well, it's the same equivalent. Goes black when you start to rise. Holy shit. That is insane. Goes on for quite literally forever.
Turn back.
For R,
Turn back from this cave.
I don't know what to say. Coda seems like a brilliant person. I'm sure that he really enjoyed making games when he did. Davey, man. Like, I'm sure Coda was in a headspace, he was thinking about stuff, and maybe some of the things Davey said were correct with his theories and whatnot. Um, and I'm sure that Coda was fine with him playing his games. He gave him what little feedback he needed. He didn't need the hundreds of thousands of people who could play his game. He just needed the one or two. Something to he didn't need the people to walk in on his board of ideas. He already had the thumbtacks up. He had the ones he wanted. They were highlighted. He just wanted to be like, look, here's what I've been using my time on. And that was, I think, all the feedback he needed. He didn't need Davey to tell him it was brilliant or that he should show it to people. He didn't need to question if he was really depressed or if he was really struggling. Because I'm not sure. I don't know Coda. I don't know Davey clearly. I'm just a creator who has seen myself go through both of these. I've been Coda before and I've been Davey before. I've done it both. I've been Coda more than I have been Davey. Davey is an experience that I've seen others experience. Does that make sense? I know what happens. It's a spiral, and I knew as soon as he said that he showed his Coda's games to other people that Coda was going to not be happy about it. Because that's a break of trust. I don't know if Coda ever asked him not to show people, but like, if you were the friend to Leonardo da Vinci and you saw him, he did the Mona Lisa, right? You saw him paint the Mona Lisa, and then you walked around and showed people, look at what my friend made. My friend made the Mona Lisa. And then they tell you how good it is, and you're getting that serotonin. You're not plagiarizing because you're telling people that it's not you who made it, but you're almost taking the credit for it because you are using your friend to make something good, make something that they just made for fun, for fulfillment, anything. Taking something that they made and you're using it so that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to have something. This is gonna sound mean. You don't have to have something great about yourself because you have a friend who does something great, and you can use that to get your daily serotonin, your daily good vibes, whatever. But the thing is, you have to find what makes you happy, what you like to do, what makes you you. And if you want to show people, great. That's why I'm making these videos, why I stream. Because I think I have something to offer. I like who I am, and I like what I do. And if people want to join me for that, then so be it. If not, and I never get popular, I never do what I want to do with my life. Because I want to be a YouTuber and a streamer. If I can't do that because people don't enjoy me, then that's their problem. I have friends who enjoy me. I enjoy myself. And that's enough for me. I can live by just fine. I don't need the external serotonin by showing what my friends have done. Am I proud of what my friends have done? 100%. But I don't need to exploit their works to get my serotonin, to get my dopamine, because I have myself, and I'm perfectly content with that. Well, this was a really nice game. It was more of like a thought experiment type of thing. I don't know if that's the right way to word it. I liked it. I enjoy Kodo's works. I'm not the happiest that this is the way that we come to play them. Like, so many people have come to play them to meet Coda. But if this is Davey's way of apologizing, so be it. But thank you guys so much for joining me. And I hope you love yourself. Yeah. I will see you guys later. Peace.